Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows in.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. I want to show you how I made this adorable Griswold Christmas vacation themed tier tray. So let's get started. This is a reindeer, a wood reindeer from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using my heat gun and a spatula to try to disassemble it. I want to actually try to make this into a giant moose mug from the Christmas Vacation movie. I really wanted a Christmas Vacation moose mug, but they're like $20 on Amazon, so I was like, I could probably make one that's even better for $1. So that's what we're doing here. This has great antlers, just like a moose, but they're kind of in the wrong spot. So I am just going to cut off the ears now that I have the antlers off. And this stuff is pretty easy to cut, just 2 or 3 times with an X-Acto blade, and you can even cut it with heavy scissors. Then I'm also cutting the bottom here, which is going to be my top, to kind of make it look like the top of a cup. Because the moose mug is kind of like a short, squatty wine glass with the moose antlers coming out the side. And so that's what I'm trying to recreate. I do go ahead and use heat to pop off the nose on that as well, because it was pretty close to the top of where I wanted my cup to be. And I don't really care about the damage on there from taking those off, because that can just be my back. And then I just use a marker to try to sketch out where the base of the moose mug would be. And then I'm just using my X-Acto blade and a cutting mat to try to cut those as well. This wood is kind of a really thicker Dollar Tree sign, but it's still really easy to cut. You just have to cut through it a couple of times. You can kind of carve it to be whatever shape you want. And I think that that's going to work. I'm going to use just a little hot glue to fill those holes in my antlers for my moose mug and sand those off, and we are ready to paint. I was thinking that ivory would be a great color for this, and because that's the color of eggnog, and so I am going to make some of my homemade chalk paint. I get this calcium carbonate on Amazon. I can post a link below. You mix that with water and acrylic paint, and you have a really inexpensive chalk paint, and I love it. And I'll post a recipe for that as well below. I got the recipe off of a blog. And it took about 3 coats of this ivory chalk paint, just because this wood from this reindeer was really kind of dark, and you can kind of see it through. And I kind of really want a solid surface for my moose mug. I want to make this into a big sign for the top of my tier tray. The tier tray that I'm doing today is my 2-tier wood tray that I got on Amazon. I love it. I can post a link below for that as well. And it is going to be on my entryway with all of my Christmas vacation stuff I just made from my last video. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out after this video. And I'm just going to glue the antlers on each side of my moose mug. And this is almost exactly the right shape. I love how it turned out. And then I'm just going to use some black vinyl and my Cricut, and I am going to cut out a saying from the Christmas Vacation movie. I really wanted to do the whole saying for this, but I didn't really think I had enough room. So it says, "Can I refill your eggnog?" And the rest of that gets even funnier and funnier as Clark goes along. And I'm going to put that on the front of our little moose mug. This is that paper, transfer paper. I get it on Amazon. I love it. It's my favorite. And once I get the vinyl on our little moose, I'm just going to seal it with some matte Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree. And then I decided to distress it just a little bit with some of this elephant chalk paint. Just a very light distress all over. And kind of this grayish color because I used the black vinyl for the writing. And I think it turned out super cute. So this is just a jar of jelly. It doesn't matter what kind. I love the Skinny Girl kind, by the way. It's really good and it's low carb. And I'm going to make my own Jelly of the Month jam here for a tier tray. I thought that would be funny. And I'm just going to attach it with some matte Mod Podge. On the back of it, I designed this printable, and I will include a link below to this and all of the Cricut designs that we do today if you want to recreate this. Now, I also use several coats of Mod Podge on the top to seal that down. And I'm going to leave like the back label on there. I just wanted to replace the front label with this design I made that says Jelly of the Month Club. We all know Clark was expecting his Christmas bonus, and he got like a 1-year membership into the Jelly of the Month Club. So I thought it would be a funny thing to have on my tier tray. The lid was a little crazy with all the writing on there, so I do go in there with just some red acrylic paint and put several coats on there to cover that up and to make it look a little bit nicer. I don't want anything to interfere with the jelly because I plan to use it when I'm done with it on my tier tray. But that's how it turned out. I think it's really fun. Okay, up next, I wanted to make a little sign for our tier tray. So I want this to be green, but that little sign I was using had white writing, so I do ivory first. And then I'm going to mix up some more of that homemade chalk paint with the calcium carbonate, acrylic paint, and water. And I'm going to do this Christmas green color. And then I'm going to paint the sign that color. This is just a little sign that I got in one of those tier tray builder kits from Thanksgiving from the Target dollar spot. Doesn't matter what it is, but this was about the perfect size. Those brushes from the Dollar Tree keep falling apart on me. And I'm going to use some white vinyl. This is my good white vinyl that I get on Amazon. It works so much better than the Dollar Tree one. But I made it say Squirrel, and I like curved that in my Cricut design space. And again, I will post a link for all of my designs, my Cricut design space designs. And I'm going to seal that vinyl down with some Mod Podge as well and do a very light distress all over that green to kind of give it a little bit of a farmhouse feel. And I don't know what happened when I put it on there. I think I left a couple exclamation points on the transfer paper. So I'm going to go through and just draw those on with the paint pen and any missing punctuation. And then I got these great little squirrel salt and pepper shakers at the Dollar Tree. And so I thought one of those in front of the squirrel sign would be really funny because that was such a funny part of the movie. And the sign was a little tippy, so I'm just going to glue a little Jenga block to the back to make sure that it does not fall over. Christmas Vacation is our favorite Christmas movie, and I've had so much fun putting all of the projects from my last video together for my entryway and this tier tray. I love it. I got this at the Dollar Tree. I thought it looked like something that the Griswolds would have. It's green. It's easy. Just going to add a battery-operated candle, and that is ready to go. And I got this Christmas tree at the Target dollar spot. Okay, our next DIY is going to be Cousin Eddie's RV. So I got this little like camper wooden car at the Dollar Tree today. And I thought it looked like an RV. So that's what we're going to go with. And I'm going to paint it all over with that ivory chalk paint that we mixed up. And then I'm going to go back and forth and distress it with that green chalk paint that we mixed up as well. Because Cousin Eddie's RV was all like green and white and dirty and messy looking. So a distress was a perfect way to make it look like an old RV. And I think that's so funny. Eddie was very proud of his RV when he was trying to explain that to Clark. And so once I get that on there, I just need to do the tires. I thought the easiest way to do that would be just with a black paint pen. And I love these paint pens. I get these paint pens on Amazon. That way I won't have to worry about taping anything off or getting anything on the RV, and this worked perfect. I just did a coat all over and on the sides of our little tires. And that's basically all there is to our little RV. But I kind of wanted to make a sign to go with it. So my plan is I wanted like an arrow sign. So I'm going to use one of these arrows from the Dollar Tree and one of these little heart frame stands from the Dollar Tree. And my plan is to do something like that. And so I just cut both of those with my saw. And I'm going to make my own little arrow stand. I thought it would be really fun to have like an arrow sign next to the RV and to make a little RV sign that way. Just to kind of break up the like square sign kind of thing that you see everywhere and give a little bit more dimension to our Griswold Christmas Vacation tier tray. I'm going to paint this all over with just some red acrylic paint. This is Candy Apple Red. It's really bright. And I'm going to go all over the arrow and all over the stand. The back is kind of weird how I put it together, but you won't be able to see it on my tier tray. And this made the perfect little sign to go next to the RV. And I want it to be like pointing down at it with a saying about the RV that Cousin Eddie says. So I just cut some more white vinyl and it's going to say, "That's an RV." And that is a quote from Cousin Eddie in the Christmas Vacation movie. And I'm going to put that on our little arrow sign. And we'll display that next to our little RV camper that we made for the tier tray. So just applying that with my paper transfer paper. And easy peasy, we have another sign for our tier tray. I'm just going to seal it again with some matte Mod Podge. And then do a very light distress all over with a little bit of that ivory chalk paint. I had a ball putting this together. I thought it was so much fun coming up with ideas. I picked up this great Christmas plant at Target today for $5. The pot was a little plain, and so I'm going to use some of this red burlap from the Dollar Tree. And I'm simply going to glue that around, leaving a white border at the top and the bottom. And I think that's really all this needs. I'm going to kind of use this towards the back of my tier tray, and because it's going to have some height, so it doesn't really need to have any other kind of Christmas Vacation detail. It just looks very Christmassy. Okay, we're going to do another sign. I got this little wood block at the Dollar Tree, and it's kind of like a, shaped like a stop sign. I'm going to paint it all over with some of that red acrylic paint. I was trying to be careful. I was using a makeup brush because I kind of put a little bit too much paint on there. But I'm trying to just do the front and the sides without getting any on the back. And I'm going to have, this is going to make a great little just stand-up sign for a tier tray. And I cut out some more white vinyl. This is going to be part of Clark Griswold's little rant from the Christmas Vacation movie. And it's going to say, "Hallelujah, hallelujah, holy, where's the Tylenol?" I'll censor myself there in case you have some little ears around. And I am going to display that on my tier tray as well. I thought that was really funny. I kind of wanted to put the whole rant, but again, I couldn't really fit it. I had so many ideas. My list of quotes are a mile long from this movie. There's so many good lines from the Christmas Vacation movie. So I am just going to transfer that on that little red sign that we just made. And we have another sign for our Griswold Christmas Vacation tier tray. Now my plan is to do something really funny with this and display it with a box of Tylenol. I thought a box of Tylenol would be the perfect size for the tier tray, and it's something that I can use after we are done with it. So just sealing the vinyl with a little bit of Mod Podge, and then distressing all over with just a little bit of ivory. And that is ready to display with my box of extra strength Tylenol. Here it is, Clark. We've got the Tylenol. Christmas is going to be okay. And then I just painted a little green block that I had. Green, just raise the Tylenol up a little bit so that you can see it on my tier tray. Now this is a ho 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 Christmas ornament from the Dollar Tree. Kind of reminded me of Santa, a nice little touch of Christmas. But I'm just going to use a couple of those little wood Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree to glue to the back so that it will stand up, and I think that will be a great addition to our Christmas tier tray. And this is a little Christmas wreath from the Dollar General, and we're going to use that as well. And look at this great Nutcracker I got at the Dollar Tree for $1. It's perfect. It's just like something Clark Griswold would have out in his house for Christmas. And then I thought one more green Christmas tree would be great. I picked this one up at Dollar Tree. Then I wanted a Santa, of course. This is a Santa salt shaker that I got at the thrift store for like 50 cents, and he will be a great addition to our tier tray as well. Okay, are you guys ready to build a tier tray? Let's do it.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho ho ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney.